Another approach that I take to kind of simplifying and making things work a little bit more smoothly for a design group is to rework kind of the way that templates are structured. In many cases, we just don't really think about this much sometimes. I'll go ahead and close this particular drawing. And when we select new here, we get the standard, organized by dimension type, right? So English and metric. So that's going to help us control standards. But it might be helpful to have additional information organized a little bit differently, maybe by document type. So I'm going to show you a folder structure that I built out that might be helpful for you guys to consider when creating additional templates to get work done a little more quickly, because each one of these templates is just a blank start. Every time you create a new drawing, for example, it's going to be a brand new fresh start, and that's going to be the case for the part files. That's going to be the case for the assemblies. If you find yourself doing the same thing, you open a new assembly, you put the assembly notes there for the assembly process type, and you go about creating the views. Well, that's just a lot of work over and over again. You could be using a template that has that stuff predefined in it. That gets you, 25% done right out of the gate, and then you're able to focus in on some of the annotation and detailing tasks at hand. So I'm going to go ahead and close up our new dialog box for templates, and I'm going to browse into a folder that I've just used to centralize a couple of options. So right now my project file is pointing to this folder for templates. Let me just make that a little more real. So we'll go to our what's new, and I'll go to the projects environment, and then here on folder options you'll see that, okay, our templates are coming from this directory called templates in the 04 templates subfolder. So I'm just going to do a little shell game here, for lack of a better description, just to make things happen a little more quickly. Here's the folder that we were just looking at. Okay, so there's a templates structure that's standard for that new dialog box. So here are the standard templates that we can choose. There's some template customizations we can do for PDFs, and then here's that English folder, and then there's the and all its contents, and then there's the metric folder. I'm going to suggest that it might be more helpful to use a structure more like this, templates for a new file, that have subfolders for document types. So in this case, I might want several different assembly documents to be closer to done when I open them. When I create a new assembly, I might want to choose between weldments for different types of material. So if we're going to be doing welding, then why not go ahead and predefine in our template either aluminum, stainless, or steel? If we put our focus on not just the document type itself, but the method of creation for fabrication, the materials that are used, then we can get that done much quicker, and chances are they'll be done more correctly too. Same thing for drawing document types. Just a standard general assembly drawing. Okay, well that's fine. We have assembly notes we might want to add to this file. So why not go ahead and create the sketch symbols for your assembly processes and put them in the template that are specific for each of these types of documents. So there's our general assembly notes that goes in the assembly drawing template, and we're already partway done with this task. In addition to that, general arrangement drawings tend to have a lot different information types on them than fabrication assemblies. Machined drawing documents, right? So I've got a drawing file for a machine component. Could be a lot different than a drawing. The notes and the types of views that we like to see on those templates could be very different from a sheet metal. And then obviously the sales catalog drawing that we might be creating to get information out to a customer, it's going to be abbreviated. We don't want to give away the secret sauce, but we certainly want overall dimensions and things like that placed on it. And probably a lot different Lego mumbo jumbo would go on to a drawing like that as well. So just some things to think about in part templates. Go ahead, how about just starting the part with the appropriate material right out of the gate. And if you don't know what it is, that's okay. You can always change if you accidentally start with aluminum 6061 and decide that you want it should be 5052. We can just, as you know, in the modeling environment, change that material. But at least we got off to the right start, and we're considering material out of the gate. In addition to that, I could be as specific as I wanted to here and actually have some predefined templates that also kind of focus and consider material right out of the gate for our sheet metal environment. So don't think that you have to use the templates the way they are out of the box. They can be completely reorganized and restructured, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you what that looks like. So in this case, I'm going to just rename this folder templates, and again, just play the shell game here. I'll rename this folder with that different structure that we were just looking at. So now this is the folder that we're going to be exposing when we create a new file. So when I select New now, you see that I have the ability to select from a much smaller list, and it gives me specific assembly types beyond just weldment or standard. In addition to that, the drawing types, sales catalog, a machining drawing, a sheet metal part, so these are more unique or more specific to the document themselves, and we get further faster with notes and material types already preset. In the case of presentations, maybe I've got a presentation file I'm using for an exploded assembly. Maybe I've got one I use for internal process documentation, so I'm using presentations to document process steps, and there would be a whole series of explosions already created in this particular document. Same thing with sheet metal. Here's an interesting concept. How about using what they call start parts in some software, or start shapes as I've named them here? How about if we just create a new part, instead of opening up a new file and creating a rectangle and extruding it over and over and over again, we use that shape's already predefined, and all we're going to do is modify the dimensions. I can have one for a box shape or a plate shape. Again, X, Y dimensions are already there. You're just simply going to modify them. How about a shaft component or cylindrical shape? So these are things that just really get us quicker, and you can even go as far as to say, okay, a cylindrical carbon steel, cylindrical stainless steel. So give some consideration to the things that you do over and over again every day. It's tedious. So if I wanted to, create a new part that started out to be cylindrical, and I've already kind of done the task. There it is, right? And I can modify its size and length. I can make it 3. I can modify the extrusion in any way. So it just depends on, how many things there are in your environment that you can kind of predefine a standard shape for. So this is a template that has for a model, but certainly I can do the same exact thing. So now when I create a new drawing for this, which gives me the ability here to create a new drawing as well, or new here, I could select the appropriate drawing template for, a machined part, and it could even be for a shaft. Again, notes with run out, and those types of things can be included automatically for those document types. Just try to remove some of that tedious effort from yourself and the users you might be trying to support.